auctions, you see these bridges all kind of lined up around the sides.
Yeah, you do.
So how much time is there normally between the application or you applying for bridging and the decision? And if some of the buyers actually make the application after they've actually bid?
Most people, yeah. So most people, that buy bridging, most people that buy at auction and use bridging arrange it after their bid has been successful.
Okay, so they have a high degree of certainty that they're going to get it.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Would you like to know if you're good for bridging? Yes or no? Yes. Come on. Would you like to know if you're good for bridging? Yes or no? Yes. Good. Okay. I'm going to ask you 2 questions. First question is, right now, are you currently bankrupt? You don't have to shout this out, by the way. I'm just saying. Answer it internally, yeah? Okay. Right. Yes. Okay. Are you currently bankrupt? If your answer is no, good. Here's the second question. Have you got any serious mortgage arrears on any property that you own currently? If you answer no, fantastic. 2 no's mean that every bridger in the UK will lend to you. You're pre-approved for bridging. Okay? Because the question comes from a mortgage buyer mindset where you're used to being having to jump through several hoops to get a mortgage. Bridging is not that. Okay. The reality is they're not really that interested in you. What they're interested in is the property because it's asset-based lending. They lend on the property and they know that you're going to sell it or refinance it within a few months. If your credit's a bit dodgy, you'll sell it. So most people arrange bridging when they've had their successful bid at mortgage, or a lot of people seem to, anyway, simply because they know they're going to get bridging, because there's nothing about them that would stop them getting bridging. And there'd have to be something radically wrong with the property for a bridger, one bridger, you're never going to get every bridger that's going to lend, because they get a bit picky sometimes about what they lend on. But there's that many bridges around, and there's more bridges around now than there's ever been. It's an expanding market. So it may or may not be one of those in the auction room.
And is that irrespective of how expensive? They said it was like 2 or 3 million or something. Was that?
Yeah, if it was 2 or 3 million, they might get a little bit more cautious on the loan to value. So, if it was residential, they might get a bit more cautious on that and say, we don't give you 75, we'll maybe give you 60 on this. Now, question, what are you buying for, it comes down, what are you buying for 2 or 3 million? Now, if it's one house, and it's what they call a trophy house, now they start to get a bit uncomfortable. They'll lend, but probably at a higher rate and a lower loan to value. Because what they like is mass market properties. Flats, terraced, semi-detached. They can get rid of them out. They know you, or they can get rid of them. So if it's something like that, I mean, if you said to us, I'm going to buy this £3 million trophy home because it's worth 4 million, really, I think I can pick it up at auction. We'd sort of say, right, let's see if we can line that up beforehand. Yeah, and let's see, you might have to put £1 million into that one. So is that okay? Is that the level that you're playing at?
And if I said yes, how quickly would they give me the money?
Okay, so bridges decide within 24, 48 hours.
And you can get the money that quickly?
No, because you've got to have it valued, and then your solicitor's got to do their legal work. Yeah.
So maybe a week or 2. Are you saying a week or 2 then, or?
Well, again, most bridging is done within 28 days. Yeah. Okay. So you're quick. Yeah. So okay. So the question was, it's like a decision in principle. Yeah, it is like a decision in principle. So, except that it's more it's more potent, if you like, than a mortgage decision in principle, because a mortgage decision in principle is just, if essentially you pass the credit score. It's not about the property, there's no property element to that, it's not property specific. Whereas a bridging, indicative terms is what they often call it, indicative terms. That they've looked at the property, not physically, but they've gone online and looked at it, and they've told you that they're happy to lend. Now, you don't get indicative terms from a bridger unless they're going to lend. They don't give you those terms and then retract them later. So, and you get them within about 24 or 48 hours, usually.